Ready, Adam? Good evening and welcome to Latrobe City Council's council meeting, which is being held at Kernot Hall tonight. Tonight's meeting will be held with councillors and guests joining in person. I'm pleased to welcome Deputy Mayor Councillor Sharon Gibson, Councillor Potter, Councillor Howe, Councillor Pugsley, Councillor Morgan, Councillor Campbell and Councillor Barnes. We also welcome Tim Ellis, who's our Latrobe City Council Acting Chief Executive Officer. Welcome, Tim, and our executive team. We now move on to the acknowledgement of traditional owners, and I'd like to acknowledge that we're meeting here today on the traditional land of the Baracalung people of the Gunai Kurnai Nation, and I pay my respects to their elders past and present, and if there are any other elders present, I'd also like to acknowledge them as well. Just with housekeeping, we conduct our council meetings under the governance rules currently in place. We welcome all members of the public attending, both via live stream and in person. I thank you for respecting protocols of the meeting, which ensure that we can extend the appropriate courtesy and respect throughout our council meeting. If councillors could ensure that they raise their hand if they wish to speak so that I can see it. Remain seated to speak directly into the microphone to ensure that they can be heard within the room and via the live stream. And when voting, raise their hand and leave it raised until I've called your name. We now move on to apologies and leaves of absence. Mr. CEO, are there any leaves of absence or apologies for tonight?
Thank you, and yes, Mr. Mayor, and through you there is a request for a leave of absence which will need to be moved and seconded by councillors. It's going to be displayed on the screen now.
Councillor Gibson? You're moving?
Happy to move the motion.
Do I have a seconder? Councillor Morgan, happy to second. Councillors, there's no debate on this item, so I shall put it to the vote. All those in favour? Councillor Potter, Councillor Howe, Councillor Pugsley, Councillor Morgan, Councillor Campbell, Councillor Gibson, Councillor Barnes and myself. I declare the motion carried unanimously. Yep. Councillors, it's with a sad heart that on behalf of the councillors and staff, I wish to pass on our sincere condolences to Councillor Lund and her family on the passing of her husband, Simon Lund. Simon was a stalwart of our community, having served in the Australian Defence Force and was a member of the CFA. Our thoughts are with you at this time. Thank you. Councillors, we now move on to the adoption of minutes. Do I have a motion?
Happy to move.
Councillor Gibson moving. Do I have a seconder? Councillor Pugsley. Do I have any opposition? Do I have anyone wish to address the motion? Councillors, we'll put it to the vote. All those in favour? Councillor Potter, Councillor Howe, Councillor Pugsley, Councillor Morgan, Councillor Campbell, Councillor Gibson and Councillor Barnes. I declare the motion carried. We now move on to declarations of interests. Councillors, do I have any declarations of interest? Councillors, I will declare a perceived conflict of interest at item 9.1, the City of Traralgon Band request for funding for their tour. I've already advised the CEO that I have a perceived conflict, and as such, I will be leaving the room and asking the Deputy Mayor to take on the chair for that item and any speakers we have on it. Councillors, before I move on, are there any other declarations? No? All right, we move on to part 6, public participation. Mr. CEO, do we have any public questions for tonight?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Yes, there's 2 questions that we've received. The first is from Mr. Damien Andrews. So, given the unanimously supported December 2024 resolution to review business-related fees, red tape and green tape and fast-track approval options, an essential step toward revitalising Latrobe City's economy and creating local jobs, what is the current status of this report, including expected finalisation and release dates? So the response, Mr Mayor, the initial report on the review of the red and green permit processes and the subsequent costs applied to businesses is currently in its final draft and is being developed for presentation to the June Council meeting. We will forward that on to Mr Andrews. And the second question is also from Mr Andrews, which is, given the Lloyd Street rail crossing upgrade was announced over 3 years ago with works to begin mid-2024, yet land acquisition was incomplete as of March 2025, what processes has Council used and continues to use to follow up, stay informed and advocate for the project's timely government completion? Provide the following response. So this is a Transport Victoria project being delivered by the Department of Transport and Planning. We've been advised that the pre-construction activities are progressing with current works focused on service relocations. The department is also in the process of finalising necessary land acquisitions, and according to the department, coordinating the road safety upgrades to the Lloyd Street Railway crossing is taking longer than initially anticipated. This is due to the complex nature of integrating rail signalling infrastructure with the new road design. Further construction timelines will be provided by the department once pre-construction works have been completed. Council officers continue to seek project status updates through regularly scheduled meetings with the Department of Transport and Planning Regional Executive. Thank you, Mr Mayor.
Thank you, Mr CEO, Acting CEO. Sorry, slip of the tongue there, just in case there's no planes back from overseas. We now move on to our public speakers, and we have 2 members of the public who have registered to speak at tonight's council. Mr Alan Wilson from the City of Traralgon Band speaking on item 9.1, and Debbie Wilson, also from the City of Traralgon Band, speaking on item 9.1. I will now, as I've declared a perceived interest, will call on the Deputy Mayor to take the chair, and I'll leave the room. Sorry, Mrs Deputy Mayor. Just...
Okay. Thank you very much. I do note you both together, but you'll speak separately. Not a problem. Okay, now you've got 3 minutes. The bell will go at 2.5 minutes, I think, if I'm got that. And then you've got half a minute to wrap it up. So I take it, who's speaking? Alan will speak first. Okay, when you're ready. Oh, and don't leave. Once you've spoken, if you can stay there, and councillors, if they have any questions, will ask you some questions. So when you're ready.
Thank you, and thank you to the council and staff for allowing Deb and I to come and talk tonight about the band. As you'll notice, we're pretty passionate about our band. It's been running for about 140 odd years. And it does a great thing for our community. We average about 6,000 hours of community work each year through the band, and plus a lot more. But some of the councillors were at a meeting last time where we spoke about our tour of remembrance coming up in a month's time, where we're going to the UK, France, Belgium, and finishing up in Copenhagen. And it's quite an amazing tour for educational and some real eye-opening stuff there for everyone. So we're really pleased to be able to organise it and take over 60 people along for that. We think also that it's going to open some doors, hopefully, for some trade as well for our area. We're trying to bring the Armians band back here, which will be really great, and drag a lot of the French people across here, which would be fantastic. But one of our things that we did was we asked whether we could get some support. Last time we went, the council was very good. They gave us $25,000. Things change along the way. We understand all of that. Our budgets, we set our budgets 2 years ago when we started planning the trip. And unfortunately for us, there's devaluation of the dollar and there's a few rising costs and effect of COVIDs and things like that coming on. So we think our initial budget's going to be a little bit out, and some of the players and supporters will end up having to dip again into their pockets. The supporters all pay their own way. They pay. There's no funding for supporters at all. And the band people, because they're putting in so much work and fundraising, they get a discount on the cost of the fares because of all of that. But today what we're looking for is, and Deb will talk a little bit about what the band does, but what we're looking for, if we can get some support, in particular we'll use it for 3 people. Through privacy, I don't want to tell you their names, but I can tell you what we've got. We do have 3 Indigenous people in the band. The band's very inclusive. We're a community band. We take everyone, and it doesn't matter what you are. We'll take it. Thanks for that. So we're looking for. We've got one chappie with some mental illness, and we've got 2 Indigenous, and these people are really struggling to pay their way. They pay a little bit each fortnight along the way out of their checks, but then they can't make it. So what we're looking to do is to try and help those 3 particular people achieve something. That'll be good, okay? And
Okay. Did you have much to...
No, not really, Councillor.
If
We
it's
can talk
just...
in a minute.
Sorry?
I can answer any questions in a minute if you like.
All right.
All right?
So you don't want an extension of time? No.
I think the councillors will understand where we're looking for. We're looking to help 3 particular people that are not there in the community like everyone else.
Not a problem.
That's what we're looking for.
Thank you.
Okay.
Hang on. No, don't go.
Don't go, right,
No,
sorry.
don't go. Councillors, do you have any questions, please? Councillor Morgan.
Through you, Madam Deputy Mayor, what is the cost for the 3 individuals that you mentioned to go on this entire trip? What's the overall cost?
The total cost, the budgeted cost we put down was $9,500 per person, and it's 16 days away, and that includes accommodation, bed and breakfast and airfares. So the costings are fairly tight along the way, and that's because we're doing it as a group booking and twin share rooms. So those players, the band members only pay $5,500 and the supporters all pay $9,500, but they might have to dip into their pocket a little bit more, the band and the supporters, than that, because we probably think it's going to end up at 10 or 10.5. Does that answer?
Yes, thank you.
No worries. Any other questions, councillors? Councillor Pugsley.
Through you, Madam Chair. Mr Wilson, can you tell me it's called the Traralgon City Band.
Correct.
But where do your members come from?
The members, good question. The legal name's actually the City of Traralgon Band Incorporated, and we trade as the Traralgon Band. That's our legal name in that. The players come from all over the place. We've got about 35 players in the senior group without the others. Most of them just come from around Traralgon Mall, that area. We do have some that come from Sale that travel down, a couple that come from Wonthaggi, and of course some of our players that are still registered with us live like in Melbourne and come back. So if anyone goes to the concert on Saturday night, you'll see about 38 players on stage. Not all of them are going overseas, but they're members, and that's not all of them. So they're on that. So they come from a wide range, but predominantly our area in Traralgon Mall.
Any other councillor have a question? No. Thank you very much. Okay. Debbie, would you like to speak now?
Thank you, and thank you to the councillors and council staff for having us present tonight. I have to declare that I'm far more comfortable as a player or as a music teacher than I am as a speaker, but thank you again for letting us speak tonight. The tour 10 years ago, when we returned, I started the training program, and that was great importance for the City of Traralgon Band because we wanted the next generation of players. And I'm very proud to say that on tour we have 7 of those who started 10 years ago. One started as a 4-year-old and she's now 14. There's another little fellow who started as a 10-year-old and he regularly plays the last post on our ceremonial occasions. We're very, very proud of the educational impact that tour made. I have stood next to a friend, a colleague in the band, for at least 10 years. A very personal moment for me in the French warfields when she declared 10 years of at least Anzac services, maybe 6 services per day, per year. And she said, "Deb, now I get it." So the educational value for me, I'm a music teacher, I already understood all of this. I understand too, very, very firmly, music often says that which words cannot. All of our players experience that every week at our rehearsals. What makes our band different, we mentioned before, one of the councillors raised, where do our players come from? They come for miles because I think the Traralgon Band actually has a relevance today. Many of the bands in Melbourne and even regionally here in Gippsland, they do their great work. They rehearse every week and they go to competitions. Our band prides itself on community connection. That's why I teach and give up my time, because I do believe... I have to declare I didn't grow up actually in the Traralgon Band. My mum and dad are life members of the Sale Band, but I'm deeply committed. I see what the Traralgon Band does, the heritage, the respect. We still wear a uniform. A lot of bands have adopted all black. We're very proud to be representatives of Latrobe City. There's my time.
You've got 30 seconds
30
left.
seconds. I mentioned that we have the 7 players coming on tour. That makes up approximately a quarter of our playing members. And if we can keep that going, we're assured of longevity for our band, but for our community as well. So I just want to say thank you for listening. I'm not a public speaker at all. And if you have any questions, I'll be happy to talk to you. Thank you very much.
You did well, public speaking.
you.
There's a lot who can't do that.
Well, I don't aim to be a councillor, let me tell you.
Councillors, Councillor Pugsley.
Through you, Madam Chair. Debbie, you talked about 1 or 2 of the benefits, but the 3 members that we're looking at,
Yes.
What additional benefits do you see that they will gain from going on the tour?
Councillor Pugsley, that's very easy for me to answer, given my background in music education. Social, emotional, intellectual inclusion, community inclusion. They're the first people to turn up to rehearsal. The young fellow in particular. He's there setting up half an hour before I'm ever there. It's his life. It's his lifeline. He has 30 friends. I've taught many students like this, and they grow up as an adult. And the first thing I say is go and join a community band. You'll have 30 friends. The other 2, Indigenous people, I'm really excited for them to see their mother doing what she does best, and I hope they follow in her footsteps. Or they are following in her footsteps, but I'll be really excited to welcome them into the fold. I think it's an amazing... They would never do it otherwise, an educational tour like this, culturally as well. I hope that answers your question. Is there anything else?
No, that was it. Thank you. That was a great answer.
Thanks,
Councillors, any other questions? No. Thank you very much. No
Thank
worries.
you, all of you. Thank you very much.
Yes, you can sit down now.
Thank you very much.
No worries. Okay, councillors, since our mayor's got a conflict of interest on this item, what we spoke about before was bringing this item up now, which is 9.1. So Councillor Howe, I note you.
Oh, sorry, I've just got an alternate motion, that was all.
No worries.
Jump in
Okay.
early.
So there's an alternate motion for 9.1, please. Is that the motion?
Yes, correct, yeah, thanks,
No
Madam
worries.
Chair.
And you're moving that motion?
Yes.
Okay, do I have a seconder for that motion? Councillor Pugsley, sorry, I saw you before Councillor Barnes. You're seconding that motion, are you?
Yes,
Okay.
please.
Jeez, sorry. Do I have any opposition? No. Councillor Howe, would you like to speak to the motion, please?
Yes, please, if I could. Thanks, Madam Chair. The City of Traralgon Band, as we've heard, is preparing for their tour of Remembrance to Europe, which is scheduled from the 11th of June through to the 25th. As part of their present preparations, the band has submitted a request for a special council grant to assist with the cost of the trip. This evening I'm presenting an alternative motion to allocate $15,000 in council grant funding in support of their tour. While the band initially requested $20,000, our current grant framework has a funding cap of $15,000, and this motion then ensures consistency with our established guidelines. The band has made a strong case for the value and the importance of the tour. They've met with both council officers and councillors to outline the significance of the trip and their fundraising efforts. In addition to the extensive community fundraising, band members have personally contributed towards the cost, but despite these efforts, a small shortfall remains. This will be the Traralgon City Band's second international tour, the first having taken place in 2014. On that occasion, Latrobe City Council also provided funding support, recognising the value of the band's representation of our city abroad. I've received positive feedback from community members who support the band's participation in the tour and endorse the proposal for council support. I respectfully seek the support of my fellow councillors, and I look forward to your thoughts on this proposal. I'm confident that the Traralgon City Band will represent Latrobe City with distinction on the international stage. Finally, I'd like to highlight that the band will be holding a European Tour farewell concert this Saturday night at GPAC, and I encourage everyone to attend and enjoy the performance before they embark on their journey. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Councillor Howe. Councillor Pugsley, do you wish to speak or reserve?
I think I'll speak at this time,
No worries.
Madam Chair. I'd just like to say that I feel that funding this is important. I feel that by allocating $15,000, it closely aligns with what would be a community wellbeing grant. I feel that the members that this funding is proposed to go towards, that definitely ticks the boxes. As one of our speakers outlined, what they would get from it, it would be social, emotional, community, intellectual and companionship. These things are so important when we're talking about well-being and mental health, especially in our younger generation. I also feel that this tour is very extremely important as it aligns with our values of when we're of commemorating our fallen soldiers.
Thank you, Councillor Pugsley. Do I have another speaker for the motion, please? Councillor Barnes.
Through you, Deputy Mayor. First of all, Debbie and Alan, I'm an old Glengarry boy, been around here for 40 years, and I think you do a fantastic job. So I'd be 100% behind you to go ahead with that, only because you make a lot of people happy. You look at all the dawn services and stuff you do. It's all done voluntary, and keep up the good work.
Thank you, Councillor Barnes. Councillor Campbell, do you wish to speak?
Through you, Deputy Mayor. Is Harry going? Harry Alexander?
You're not quite supposed to do that.
Oh,
but
it doesn't matter.
But that's okay. That's all
Nice
right.
to break the rules.
In other words, no.
Am I going to get a code of conduct?
Hopefully not.
Thanks. No, just thought I'd ask.
No worries. Do you have any other things you want to speak to with this, Councillor Campbell? No worries. Any other councillor wish to speak? No. We've had speakers, so I'll put the motion to the vote. All those in favour? Councillor Potter, Councillor Howe, Councillor Pugsley, Councillor Morgan, Councillor Campbell, Councillor Barnes and myself. I declare the motion carried unanimously. Okay, councillors, we'll just get the Mayor back in the room and then we'll be back to item 7.1, I think it is. Okay.
Thanks, Madam Deputy Mayor. We now move on to the next item, which is item 7.1, which I'm getting to now, which is strategic items for decision. There's one item in this section, the Draft Community Vision and Council Plan 25-29, public exhibition commencing on page 5 of the agenda. Councillor Gibson, I note you. Moving the motion.
I'd like to move the motion, thank you.
Councillor Gibson moving, seconded Councillor Pugsley. Councillors, do I have any opposition? Councillor Gibson, did you wish to speak?
Just briefly, thank you. And given that I was the councillor who was very firm in asking for it to be rewritten, I thought it was only prudent that I move the motion. So look, I am happy to move this motion. As a new council, you always have to do a council plan and the vision. Now, it's been a bugbear of mine for a long time about the language that is in the actual plans, that this is for the community, but it's not in language that the community can understand readily or all the community can understand. So our officers thankfully have gone and reworded a lot of this. So I'd really encourage the community to have a look at what the community vision is that we're putting forward. It's out for public consultation, so have a look. Is this what you want? Because this is what we base our 4 years on and our budget. So if it's not in the council plan or community vision, then to actually get money for anything, well, no, it has to relate back to the community vision. So I would really encourage anyone who has aspirations of whatever they want to have a look at this and see whether this actually addresses what you believe will help our community. And I hope they find the reading an awful lot easier. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Gibson. Councillor Pugsley, did you wish to speak?
I will speak, thank you.
Sorry?
Yes,
You will?
I'll
Sorry,
speak.
I couldn't hear, sorry.
Thank you.
Yep.
I too I'm much happier with the end result of this document. It's important that the community understand what we're trying to achieve and that they understand it enough to be able to put their input into this document. I've read the previous document, as in the previous one that was passed, and this one is much more aimed at the community. So I think that this has been a great step towards being more understandable and transparent. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Pugsley. Councillors, do I have a speaker for the motion? Councillor Howe?
Yeah, thank you. Sorry, Deputy. Sorry, thank you, Mayor. Through you. As we've heard tonight, we're here to endorse the release of the draft council plan for our community feedback. This plan will guide our decision-making from 2025 to 2029, so it is essential that it reflects the values, our priorities and aspirations of our community. To reach this point, we have undertaken community engagement. We've included surveys, pop-up sessions and a community panel. In addition, councillor development sessions have been held and internal workshops facilitated with our officers. While the development of the plan is a legislative requirement, it also represents best practice in ensuring our direction aligns with the expectations and the needs of our community. So if this motion is passed tonight, the draft council plan will be placed on public exhibition for 4 weeks from the 13th of May to provide community feedback. In tonight's plan, there's 3 strategic directions in the draft plan. One's our economy, so that's investment, jobs and growth. Our city, livable, sustainable, connected. And our community, which is healthy, inclusive and safe. And each strategic direction also includes specific objectives supported by deliverable strategies and measurable indicators to track the plan's impact over the 4 years. And for the first time, we've got our municipal public health and wellbeing plan has been integrated into the council plan rather than presented as a separate document. So this approach strengthens the alignment and the clarity. We've worked really hard for this draft plan to be accessible and easy to read. So I strongly recommend everyone in the community to review it, or at least read the part that matters to you the most, and then share your feedback. The more input we receive, the better our plan will reflect our shared vision for Latrobe City's future. Thank you, Mr Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Howe. Councillors, do I have a speaker against the motion? Speaker for the motion? Do I have any councillor wish to speak? Councillors, we've had speakers, so we'll now put it to the vote. All those in favour? Councillor Potter, Councillor Howe, Councillor Pugsley, Councillor Morgan, Councillor Campbell, Councillor Gibson, Councillor Barnes and myself. I declare the motion carried unanimously. Thank you, councillors. That now brings us to any urgent business. Councillors, do we have any urgent business? No? Great. Then we move on. That brings us to the closing of the meeting. For those following us on YouTube, we'll now be closing the meeting to consider. We won't be considering any confidential information because that's the meeting done and dusted. To the members of our gallery, thank you for attending. Please stay and have a cup of tea with us. To those online, thank you for watching and we'll see you in 2 weeks' time. Thank you, councillors.